everyone. This is Nick Baisley here at FilmSnobbery Live. We're here for another awesome episode of FilmSnobbery Live. I am joined, of course, by my co-host, Mr. Jerry Cavallero, and say hi to the folks, Jerry.
Hi. Thanks for telling me. I didn't know I should say hi.
A really great show for you guys tonight. We have a great guest for you, of course, Mr. Miles Maker. We'll be chatting with him in a moment, and we'll be talking about everything that he has going on and what he's doing out there in New York City for independent filmmakers, and particularly actors and actresses. So we're going to talk to him, and then obviously we also have our Indiegogo Project of the Week, which I'm really excited to talk about this week as well. And then at the end, the second half, I don't know. The fans seem like they've got, the people on Twitter and stuff seem like they've got their own idea. We might have kind of like a mass call-in at the end, as much as Skype can handle anyway. So we'll see how that works. We may have some people that want to call in at the end, and we'll chat with them then. Director Ryan's a little nervous about that because Skype is not exactly all of our strong points over here, plus with the new broadcast system. I want to thank, before we get started, I want to thank the good folks over at Telestream and Wirecast. They just released their new Wirecast 4 and Wirecast 4 Pro. They were nice enough to hook us up with the Pro version. Goes for about $995, so I'm really happy that they felt that they wanted to continue supporting us here at FilmSnobbery, and they're really good people over there. I'm really excited with some of the new features that Wirecast 4 provides. I'm looking forward to trying all of them out, and you might actually see a video or a review of what my experience with that is in the very near future. So let's get right into the show here. Our first guest for the evening. You guys know him out there. You've seen him at certain events like The Conversation and DIY Days. You see him all over Manhattan. The man helps define the New York City actors and actresses kind of milieu. He's a full-service talent and transmedia agency for visual and performing artists and content and conversation network for artistic entrepreneurs. The man is a writer-director of Sweet on You, due out in 2011, and he is a story author, provocateur, curator, crowdsmith, serial blogger, and digital media maven. You can follow him over on Twitter. He's at Miles Maker, and he's on Facebook as well. And also check him out at milesmaker.com. Ladies and gentlemen, the man of the hour, Mr. Miles Maker.
What a freaking description, bro. That's long-winded.
That was, well, I just read what you sent me. No. No.
And, provocateur, that's a self-imposed title, and I actually prefer dirty old man, but provocateur sounds better.
It sounds better if you're in a police lineup where they say, could you point out the dirty old man? You don't want to be involved in that. But, no, I agree, though. Yeah, I would say provocateur is a very good description of yourself, in as much as, whenever there's something going on the forefront of independent film, or things that have to do with actors, actresses, things in the transmedia or online kind of world, you seem to be kind of on top of it. You're out there, you're Facebooking it, you're tweeting it, you're letting other people know what your opinions are, and a lot of those opinions are fairly uncensored too, and it's something I can appreciate. So let me ask you, how did you get started in independent film? Like, what kind of was the what was the genesis of you being to where you are now?
Well, I tell you, it started with frustration. It's that simple. As a screenwriter initially, and I've been a writer since I was a little kid, so writing was my way of escaping reality. So I told a lot of stories, and it was, comforting, and it was exciting, and it was adventurous, and I could just escape the world. And you reach a point. At first I wanted to be a novelist, and I saw myself writing, big, thick novels that take you weeks to get through. And I quickly found that I didn't have the same power on a story to go that deep to the point of completing a novel. So I went a few years without completing a novel. I've got several that are partway done. And then I found my way to screenwriting because, wow, it's a lazy man's form. I mean, it's 90 to 120 pages. It's a skeleton, really, the essence of the story, but then you've got everybody else that adds their creative spirit to this thing that, when it's done, it's not entirely unlike what you wrote, but what you wrote sparked it all. So I began to write screenplays. I read a couple books, and it got me going, and I was doing really well writing screenplays, but they weren't getting made. And that frustration compounds, and you just reach a point where you go, you know what, I'm going to make it myself. And then you begin to explore what it takes to actually make something that you've written, and that's taken me to the point that I'm at now.
Now, when you go to make something, whether it's a novel or whether it's a screenplay or whether it's something like Sweet on You or anything like that, do you keep in mind, like, as you're writing, oh, this is going to cost me X amount of dollars as I'm writing this scene to get something like this done? Or do you focus solely on story to keep, do you kind of leave budget aside or forget about that for the time being and write what you want and then think about how to get it done later?
Well, I mean, it's a good question, and I'll say this: if you're solely a writer, I think that you can't limit or put any boundary on your creative juice when you're writing. In other words, you need to just be as free as you can possibly be and tell your story exactly how you want to tell it and let somebody else scale it back or put a budget cap on it. But when you're a filmmaker and you're being smart about it and savvy about and realistic about your means and your resources, then you are writing something that you can make. It is completely unproductive to write something that is beyond your means to make, finish a script, look at it and go, shit, I don't have anywhere near enough money to make this, because then that script's going to sit on the shelf. So it's better, and possibly maybe you're writing something that you can put on a shelf for later, but you've got to write stuff that you can do now. I think the biggest enemy for us right now is being idle, and so your body of work will eventually get you where you need to go, and it may not be the $5 million film first.
Right.
It may be a $5,000 film first. But you've got to, get the momentum going and begin to put out work that people can see and value and respect and appreciate, and I feel that'll get you there.
Now, does that extend to working on other people's projects as well? Because I know filmmakers who, they want to be the creative force behind something. They want to be the writer, director. They want to be, the person who's kind of there realizing the creative vision. But, you say to them, well, getting some work, doing something, helping other people might be just as good. But, do you see that, do you think it's better to try to stay in with that creative force, or is it better to work on other projects just to at least keep your name out there in front of other people?
Yeah, I never thought that my first feature film credit would be as a producer and not a writer or director, and that's what happened this year. And I'll tell you, it was a growing up experience as a producer to work on a project that you are not as emotionally connected to. You really can look at it from a business perspective. You can count those beans properly. You can make the hard decisions. You are a real producer. Everyone throws titles around on their business cards, and you read this description of me, and we can call ourselves whatever we want to call ourselves, but truly embodying what these titles are, a lot of times you really don't get the essence of that experience until you're working on something that is not your own. And so, with Fair Change, I produced it, and it essentially opened my eyes to what could be done with a very small amount of money, because we made this film for, the production budget shooting was $6,000. This film looks beautiful, and I'm happy to be part of the team, but it taught me a lesson. It taught me that all this waiting around for more money and something to happen, or it's just not going to happen. And sometimes you just got to go ahead and do it to the best of your ability. So I learned a big lesson with Fair Change producing that, and I feel that I'm a better producer as a result of working on that film.
Now, I want to talk to you a second. You had gone back and said, going back a second, you had said that, you can put whatever title you want on things, and you can call yourself whatever you want. Lately, there's been a little bit of controversy between the new title that has come out, and I know that you're familiar with it, and this is the new title or credit called PMD. And for those of you guys out there in the audience who aren't familiar with it, it's something John Reese came up with, and it stands for, PMD stands for Producer of Marketing and Distribution. I have gone on record as saying that is something I think is kind of bullshit, but that is just my opinion. What is your opinion on this? And let me ask you, I guess, what maybe am I not taking into consideration with my feeling of why I don't really feel that this is a valid credit or title, or it's a vanity credit or title to be given something. I also kind of feel that it's not something you can learn in a weekend class, but that's another subject entirely. I have many thoughts and opinions on it, but what's your opinion on it?
The need for these set of tasks to be done is undeniable. So whether somebody says this is going to be our person and they're going to oversee this thing and we're going to call them a PMD, or whether these responsibilities are split up, which essentially when they're split up, we are already doing that, and we've been doing that, and it hasn't been effective because you need a quarterback with his or her eye on the ball and where the ball needs to get passed to, and making sure that the ball successfully is completed pass. And needs to be a very conscious, concerted effort in this area, because it makes no sense to make a movie if you don't have your eye on marketing the movie, getting it to its audience, and selling the movie. So if we say to ourselves, we don't need a PMD and we can handle these tasks amongst the group, or we've got 2 or 3 people, or we've got this person over here doing publicity, and this person's doing marketing, and this person's going to do our web stuff. You really got to make sure that you've got some real focused meetings and an agenda and a set of tasks to complete, and basically an action plan. And I prefer to assign that to one person, a mastermind, who is also then going to delegate various tasks to certain service providers and people who are going to carry them out. So this PMD essentially is really it's the vision of that entire process.
I agree with a lot of what you're saying, but but the way that it has been defined in how I've been, I've heard it in speaking with people like John or Sherry or whoever else is involved, is that for me it seems like 2 things. It sounds like a person who's in charge of your PR, which, let's be honest, that is a job that someone I think needs to be qualified for. I think that person that's a professional, that's a profession, not and something that is separate from what the film from the film. And I think there needs to be a separation there too, between the art and the distribution or marketing side of it. But it sounds to me also like there's a lot that lets filmmakers off the hook for promotion, and that's something that I rail against all the time, because I think that filmmakers don't generally do enough to promote. And I'll be slammed for that, I know, by a lot of filmmakers, but the fact of the matter is that I'm out there at the film festivals, I'm out there, speaking with distributors and seeing what their needs and wants are, and seeing what the festival's needs and wants are, and I can tell you right now that, we were talking a little bit before the show, that it's just not happening, to the point where I felt the need to create a course myself for it, just from my perspective. But the part of it, I think that bothers me too is, like I said, I think it lets filmmakers off the hook a little bit and loses a little bit of the personal touch from the filmmakers. I'm not saying that delegation isn't important. I think that is definitely a producer's job, is to delegate various things that need to happen. But I think that those personal touches that are coming from the movie need to come from the filmmaker, otherwise, or the writer, or the creative force behind that film. Otherwise, that project loses a little bit in translation going to the audience. Like, if in my mind, it's like, if the filmmaker doesn't care enough to promote that film, then why should I care enough to watch it? And I know that there's a lot of other layers to it, but I mean, it's just, I wanted to hear you, because I've heard you champion it a bit, and I'm not against anyone doing that if it works for them, as long as it ends up, having a positive effect on your production. I'm not going to be angry with anything like that. I can't be, but if it's, but to create a position for creation's sake is something that is, filmmaking is complicated enough. To add in something else on top of it, it seems to me to be, it seems like a great way to get your name attached to something, but it doesn't seem very, it doesn't seem like it makes any sense for most low-budget independent productions.
I do want to address just a couple of things you said, because,
sure.
This person isn't, this idea of the hired gun, I mean, this is a synergy, there's a symbiosis with this role, and it is a professional role, and this is a full-time job. Like, I pretty much handled PMD responsibilities for Spare Change, and there wasn't a point in time that I made any crucial decision, either with message being conveyed or anything artistic without going to the writer-director, talking about the need and what needs to be done, and really getting the feedback on maybe how to tweak what it was I was about to do. Like, this is not somebody that just comes on and says, okay, your movie's done, I'm ready to, you know, we're going to blow this motherfucker up now and make a whole bunch of money. I mean, this is literally somebody that's married to the production from day one, and they're just as much a part of the production as anybody else. They do spend days on set, and they spend days at home or in an office or whatever, you know, wherever they're going to do their other work. And you mentioned, you know, more added stuff. I mean, filmmaking itself now in this new paradigm of new media, we have added responsibilities, and there's no way around them. So the question is every filmmaker built to absorb not only the requirements, but carry them out? And it's obvious that they're not. There are a lot of filmmakers that are so artistic that they're completely disconnected from the business or marketing or even the interpersonal side of what it's going to take to, like, build relationships and sell their film.
Sure.
And those people need it. They need somebody like me or somebody else on their team that's going to handle this. And maybe they are lazy. And if they're lazy after they've made a movie and they want to just step back and just go to screening, let this PMD carry that. But that PMD is also going to bring them in. You know, the filmmaker isn't done. The filmmaker is part of this plan. So, you know, if it's done right and the synergy and the symbiosis that I'm saying is there, the film is maximized. And, you know, John's book really outlines exactly what he did, think outside the box office, and he created a model out of it. And whether or not, you know, John was able to carry it out on his own for the most part. We're not all built to do that.
I understand. Yeah, I mean, every project is unique, and the other thing that bothers me about books like that, not saying it wasn't well written and doesn't contain a lot of useful information, but the one thing that bothers me is, and I'm not just picking on John, I see it in a lot of other, I mean, no, seriously, like, you know, I've had John on the show, I like him as a person, there's just a few things that he puts out there that, you know, him and Sherry or whatever, that I just don't agree with, and you know, I think that a healthy discussion on that is okay. You know, it's all part of the discourse. You know, it's not about being right or wrong. I think it's about what furthers the conversation. But I think the fact of the matter is, though, is that anything that provides an outline for filmmakers that are like, do it this way because it worked for me, is a bit of a misnomer, because you know, you look at someone like Aaron Crumley or you look at someone like John Reese, who basically defined their careers by telling people to do it this way because this is how they were successful. First of all, how do you measure that success, I think, is one question that you have to ask yourself first. You know, whether it's monetary, whether it's fan-based, whether it's whatever. The second thing you have to ask is, will this work for other people? Because in my experience, there can be, it's the Highlander rule. There can be only one. You know, there can be only one first to do anything. There's only one, the first guy to land on the moon. You know, every other guy that does it pales in comparison. Everything else is going to be compared to that first time. So, you know, you might have a Coke versus Pepsi and maybe a Dr. Pepper thrown in there for good measure, but you don't really have a you know, method that is going to work every time. And we both know that once Hollywood discovers that something works, they shut it down for that to work again. You know, and that was a good example where you see this about every 10 years, where you saw it with Blair Witch, and then they tried to do nothing but do what Blair Witch did. Then you saw it again recently with Paranormal Activity, and then they tried to do it with that too. And, you know, I think it's just, I think that outlining and giving ideas is one thing, but saying that, like, this is the way, and then, you know, and then creating other things on top of that just doesn't really gel with me personally. But that's from my perspective looking in. If you're out in there, you're producing, you're working with the filmmakers, you probably see it a lot differently than I do, and that's fine.
Well, they're employment tools and techniques. Like, results will vary, and, you know, his workshop was very eye-opening. Like, I think if you get the book and you say, all right, you know, this is how it's going to go down, because it went down for John, maybe you might have a different perspective. Few people have been fortunate enough to attend the workshop. You've only had maybe a handful of them in various cities and countries. but he expounds far beyond the book, and you really learn the process of plugging your particular project and your particular set of circumstances into this model. And it's really about, it's a checks and balances and ways to explore finding your audience and maximizing it, but results will vary. And he pretty much lays that out and explains that in the workshop. And I don't know how his additions or changes to the book have happened, you know, revisions, but I think if we step back from this idea that it's supposed to be a Bible for us and say, you know what, this is a very solid approach to self-distributing and releasing my own movie and negotiating with people who want to take my rights and all these things. It's a book of knowledge versus being a Bible, and you know there are other books to read. And at the end of the day, results vary. But you know, as producers, you know we're going to pick and choose what works right for our movie and what doesn't.
No, and absolutely.
You know?
I mean, again, I say every project is unique, and you have to approach it as such. But you know what? You and I, we're chatting about John Reese a lot. This is your interview. This is your interview. Let's make it a little bit more about you. Talk to me a little bit about. We're having a conversation. You talk to me about. Let's talk a little bit about Conver Cinema. That's over on Blog Talk Radio. Yeah. You've got that. What's that all about? Let's introduce Conver Cinema to my audience.
Yeah. So firstly, I want to say that I appreciate your show because you're very candid and casual. There are very few shows that I truly appreciate that, you know, the collar is unbuttoned, so to speak, and I really like your approach. So Conver Cinema is really the same approach to having conversational dialogue and discourse about the same subjects that we're talking about today on your show. And it started out on Blog Talk Radio. I'm so frustrated with those motherfuckers right now. That and also too, I want to add another dimension to the show. So we're beginning next year. You know, I had several Blog Talk Radio podcasts. I actually interviewed Sherry Candler. Talked to Sherry Candler, I should say, and several other filmmakers, Angela Bell, some other people. But we are now going to go to a live stream format on location. So every time you tune into Conver Cinema, we will be somewhere, on a set, in a bar, who knows, at a screening, and it'll be a live stream conversation with myself and whoever the guest is, and we're going to talk about, you know, the issues at hand and have a little and keep it very casual and candid the same way that you do. And it sort of sprang up as just as me just being me. I mean, I love people and I love learning from people and having conversations exactly like this. We all walk away a little bit wiser. We grow. We take something away. And, you know, the fact that it's also a show will help build an audience that I can tap into later with, you know, these projects like Sweet on You is the romantic comedy that I'm shooting next year.
Yeah, and as far as the flick is concerned, where are you at with that now? I mean, has it been shot? Are you shooting it, or
Sweet on You, actually. I mean, I could start shooting it next month, but I'm actually handling the business behind the movie. Sweet on You is a romantic comedy, and for me, romantic comedies can be some of the, you know, most insignificant, meaningless movies out there, and yet they do really well. And I said to myself, you know, what can I add to this that is going to make this movie worth watching? Because, you know, at the end of the day, it's just another rom-com. And so I began to tap into the theme of the story a little bit more, and what issues it confronts. And it is about a heavy, curvaceous, whatever you want to call her, black woman that owns this candy store. And so, you know, one of the biggest, or two of the biggest killers in the black community are obesity and diabetes, and they're very much linked. And so I began to explore the possibilities of creating an awareness campaign around obesity and diabetes. And so I began to approach the American Diabetes Association and the Harlem Health Promotion Center. We're shooting the film in Harlem. And that road has taken me into some proposals and some basically some wheeling and dealing in this early stage that will enable this movie to go out in a much bigger way, being embraced by some entities and organizations that will propel it far further than I could on my own as an indie film. And you know,
I got to tell you,
something I learned through John Reese. I mean, tapping into that target audience and finding out what ways the community can be engaged around the movie. So right now I'm looking at an ebook, like a multimedia ebook with an app, 20% of people with smartphones use their smartphone for health information. It's the fact that's just out there. So it ties in great with the film, along with the fact that minorities are sort of leading the charge on smartphone use because our home internet percentage is so low that a lot of people, their only access to online is with the smartphone in some urban communities. So this ties in great with the movie. We're going to have an app and an ebook and a movie, and they're all going to be sort of wrapped together. So when you buy the movie, a percentage of the proceeds will go to an awareness campaign or an organization, and then you'll also be able to receive health information about diabetes and obesity awareness.
You know, you're not the. I was going to say you're not the first person. This seems to be like a new trend I've been seeing, and I think it's a really good thing to get people and organizations behind you to help not only promote. It's a synergistic type of symbiotic relationship you can create with them, but you know, it's all about using your circle of influence, which is only limited to something, and then someone else's, which is also limited to something, and kind of putting them together to try to kind of further a cause. And if you can get something with a message in there too, I know John Paul Rice, No Restrictions Entertainment, he's done that with Mother's Red Dress and The Magic Stone and some other stuff he's done with One Hour Fantasy Girl with the United Way and all this other stuff. I see that as a new trend with a lot of filmmakers, and it's something I really like. We just interviewed someone at the Orlando Film Festival. His name is J.J. Sanchez. The interview is actually up now on FilmSnobbery.com if anyone wants to check it out. He did this thing called Fireball Run, which is a road rally, kind of like Cannonball Run, but they, it's a competition, kind of like Amazing Race, but they also help and they tie into finding missing and exploited children.
Yeah.
And they found missing kids. So yeah,
bro, that's fine. And the bottom line is, look, everybody's making a movie, so you've made a movie, big fucking deal. Like when you really go out to sell this movie, I'm saying big fucking deal, but I really mean that, big fucking deal. What about your movie should garner any more attention than anybody else that has a movie? I don't care how much you spend, because Hollywood, they buy your attention. We can't do that. Yep. What are you going to do that's going to give that some traction, give it some legs, and give your film a fighting chance to actually make it down the street and not just collapse dead right there in your living room? And that's the reality. People are more prone to donate or make a purchase when they know that there is some other goodwill thing attached to it. I mean, it's human nature. So who cares about this romantic comedy called Sweet on You about a fat woman in a candy store? Some people might think it's cool. They might want to go see the movie. But if you know that with every movie you buy, it's going to do something for obesity and diabetes, that might be your reason to buy. Yep. There's a whole more other audience that may buy just because of that, and maybe they could care less about the movie.
Right. No, and you definitely see opportunities like that all the time where, it's, PBS makes a living off of that, it's just like, support our, our stuff and we'll give you a tote bag. And, like I said, I mean, I think that I see a lot of filmmakers doing things like that. I think that that's definitely a new approach to it because you're absolutely right. Hollywood can buy your attention with flashy ads and, like, literally they'll buy your seat into a theater sometimes with free tickets inside other DVDs that they put out in their catalog or something like that. We don't have the ability to do that. You don't have the ability to do that. So kind of finding other people that can join in your voice to make your voice louder, I'm all for that.
Yeah.
Now,
and think about reach. I mean, if this all goes the way I'd like it to go, I'll be in bed with the American Diabetes Association. Now, how big is their friggin' reach? They're going to get exposure for the movie that I could never get. And it could even include major media outlets. Like, this is strategy. And, I hate to say it that way as if I'm only doing it because I know I'm going to sell more movies and I could really care less if anybody finds out more about what the bad effects of being fat are. Like, it's nice to feel like you're also doing something positive with your movie or with a story that in itself may not have any positive impact on anybody after they've finished watching it 90 minutes later.
No, but at the end of the day, too, sir, I mean, you got to eat. I mean, you're in this because yes, it is your chosen profession, but there are a million ways to make money. But this is the way you've chosen to make money. It's show business. And, you know, yes, you're out there, you're creating a product that has artistic merit that you're hoping that people will enjoy, be entertained by, connect with. You're hoping to connect with other people on behalf of that. But at the end of the day as well, like, you want to be able to make new movies. You want to be able to live and pay rent and, you know, kind of all the normal stuff that normal people do. And I think that some parts of that are lost in the entertainment industry of, like, whether it's independent filmmakers or big budget filmmakers, you know, I mean, we all have to pay rent or a mortgage or office, you know, expenses or child support or whatever, you know, whatever bills you have. You're a regular person, so you don't have, you know, the same, you know, I think some people kind of forget, like, oh, he's a director, so he has money. You know, like that
and
other stuff goes out the window.
I'd rather sell my movie than sell a T-shirt. I'm sorry that, you know, it's cool that we're accessorizing everything now, but, you know, no, I'm not going to sell high-heeled shoes with, you know, and shit like that because this is a romantic comedy for women. I want to sell the movie, period. And I want more people to watch the movie, and I want more people to then be introduced to me as a filmmaker. I am not interested in selling accessories. And I would rather put my time and attention into finding ways to make units of the movie move versus selling accessories.
Well, I mean, plus, let's be honest, it's the old idea of inventory anyway. I mean, if you increase your inventory of product, that's more cost outlay to you. And, you know, so to make your money back and continue to be profitable, it gets more and more difficult as you go on anyway, because if you have a larger product line, it's more overhead, blah, 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 blah. Let's talk about something else, though. Let's talk real quick about Indie Club New York City. Indie Club NYC.
Indie Club NYC, yes. The reins of that was handed to me over the summer. And Indie Club, a lot of people remember Indie Club in the late 90s. It was an organization, or it still is, I should say, that has chapters all over the world. They're literally, it's a network organization, but unfortunately its infrastructure has been dependent on one primary website since '98. And the reins were handed to me, and unfortunately my hands were really tied behind my back because I had no way to interact and reach this audience that was waiting for Indie Club events and seminars and panels because the website has been down. It's been under reconstruction. So in the meantime, I started the Indie Club NYC Facebook page, and there's an Indie Club NY Twitter, and I'm communicating with and slowly building that audience up. And probably the majority of those people are not original Indie Club members, so I'm in the process of finding them just by having a presence outside of the website. And at some point when that website is back up, I'll have access to the database of contacts. There's, from what I understand, like 30,000 members, only about 6,000 active, and they're pretty much every facet of the filmmaking process, from actors all the way through to producers and filmmakers at various levels, and they're just people that have come together under the banner of this club to meet and collaborate and get projects done. So I'm really waiting to be able to really kickstart that the way that it really needs to be, because it's been inactive for a number of years.
Well,
yeah, they asked me to take it over, and you know, I've got a plan, and I just feel like at the moment it's a little idle still, but we're bringing it back.
Well, you know, I appreciate that you're so involved in, you know, all the different facets of the indie community. From, you know, you're out there for actors. You do the Directing Actors New York, as well as you're there for, you know, everyone in the community with the Indie Club in New York City, and then you have, you know, your outlet is the Converse Cinema, so you have your outlet there. Plus, I mean, you are a filmmaker, so I mean, you're right there in the trenches with everyone else, and you kind of can get a good, you know, scope of all of that.
Yeah, I appreciate that. You know, the trenches is a good description, and you can also look at it like, you know, when a politician's doing his grassroots building, I'm in a perpetual state of that, and as a result, you know, this wonderful audience is being amassed, you know, and exactly what happens with that, I have a lot of plans, but, you know, it's like Apple or Google, you know, you try something, if it's not working, you pull it back. You put your effort somewhere else.
You know,
and eventually you'll hit exactly what you need to be doing.
You know, we've gone through our own growing pains here. I completely agree with that entire sentiment. And as far as even being down in the trenches, I consider this is war. You and I are generals. We're leading our troops into battle. Not everyone's going to be there when we come back. But you know, there will be some attrition going on there. But you know, but you know, eventually the battle will be won, and we'll live to fight another day. Speaking of which, I also want to say another thing that you're involved in. What we both have in common is we're both affiliates of the new Rain Dance New York City. We both work with them, and I'm looking forward to working with them more in the future. They've got some great classes coming up, and actually our classes may at some point be, don't quote me on it, we may be integrating some of our seminars and classes into their curriculum.
Nice.
Which would be great, because I would love to be down in New York with people like Miles here and having nice civil discourse before he shanks me, but you know, and really kind of going, you know, and talking about, you know, how we can as a group help everyone out there, because that's what Miles does. Every time I'm on Twitter, every time I'm on Facebook, I see something from Miles out there, and he really is a very vocal advocate for independent film. I really appreciate his viewpoints. I appreciate his conversation and his addition to the conversation in cinema. And I want to first of all, I want to say congratulations and good luck on Sweet on You when you finally, you know, start shooting that and getting that in there. Good luck with getting the promotion and your associations behind you on that. And obviously, you always have the full backing of FilmSnobbery if you ever need it, sir.
Thanks, man. And I just want to say real quick, I'm going to be down there in Texas when you're down there at South by Southwest with your panel. I've never been to Texas. I hope I don't get any rope burns around my neck. So, you know, bro, I'm going down there for you. I'm supporting that. And it's called Your Baby's Ugly, right?
Your Baby is Ugly. Yeah, that's what it's called, sir. And hopefully we do get to see it. And we'll have to. And I hope it's not like the Conversation and DIY days though, where it's like we keep like we gotta meet up, we gotta chat, and then like we just lose track of each other. It does with events like that. It's always so busy. But if you're going to be down there and you know you're going to take the time, I will make a point to take the time to make sure that you and I get to hang out, have a beer or something, or you know maybe we'll go have some fun. Exactly. Well, I'll tell you what, you know, we're down in Texas, you know, as long as you're not getting suffering from any rope burns, we can, you know, maybe you and I will turn the tables a bit, and we'll go lynch us some white people. How's that? I'm all for that. You know, I got enough white guilt to get in on that. I'm good. No, it's all good, man. I want to thank you for coming on tonight, man. I know it was short notice having you on, but I want to thank you for making the time and talking to us and being open about your opinions and your thoughts on what's going on in the industry. And I hope to hear more from you in the future.
Thanks, Nick. I enjoyed every minute of it. Have a good one.
You too, sir. Have a good one.
Right.
Everyone, Miles Maker. You can go check him again at milesmaker.com. He's also on Twitter and Facebook. You can follow him at twitter.com/milesmaker. Also, just find him on Facebook. I'm sure it's facebook.com/milesmaker too, because he knows how to brand himself, and he's a good man like that. We're moving on now in the show. I want to do a real quick thing before we go to the next segment. I want to go stop for just a quick little break, commercial break. Ryan, I know I didn't tell you, but if you want to throw on real quick the commercial for Final Draft, that would be delightful. Our good friends over at Final Draft, check out their new Final Draft version 8, also the new Final Draft AV that's out right now. Check them out, www.finaldraft.com. Ryan. Final Draft version 8 is the industry standard for screenwriting software, with ease of use and time-saving features like Final Draft's Scene View, Index Cards, and Scene Properties Inspector. You can see why Final Draft users include Academy Award winners like Oliver Stone, Tom Hanks, J.J. Abrams, and James Cameron. Final Draft is now even more extensible with its new XML-based file format that can be used to import your script into many other programs. Check out Final Draft 8 now for free over at www.finaldraft.com. Hey, guess what, everyone? We're back. I want to welcome back everyone to the show here. I want to thank our guest Miles Maker for being on. What I want to talk about now, though, is I want to talk about our Indiegogo project of the week. Our Indiegogo project of the week, directed by Murphy Gilson, who's actually in the chat room tonight. So everyone say hi to Murphy if he is still here. And I want to also go ahead and I want to plug what he's got. He's got a movie that he's plugging on Indiegogo called Boop Beep. And actually, I really dug it because I just like the title of it. But it's basically a if you don't know him, he actually is a director. He's directed something before, and you can go check this out with me over at www.indiegogo.com/boopbeep. And they're trying to raise $4,750. They've raised $520 so far, but they've got 88 days to go, so almost 3 months to go. We're going to show you their pitch video in a moment, but I want to just say he's the, Murphy Gilson also he worked on, I have it here, of course I lost it. Oh yeah, Partially True Tales of High Adventure, which starred Johnny Sneed and Shannon Elizabeth. So this guy knows how to make a movie. So let's definitely hook him up. I want to show you his pitch video right now. I thought it was funny, so I wanted to make sure I shared it with you guys. Ryan, could you do me a favor and play the little pitch video for Boop Beep with for the good people out in the audience, please? Boop Beep.
Hi, I'm Murphy Gilson. I'm a writer and director living in Los Angeles. During the day, I make commercials for TV shows, but I also like to make films. My last film was called Partially True Tales of High Adventure, and it toured the world, literally. 50 film festivals on 4 different continents. Even Cannes, or Cannes, or Cannes, or, the one in France. My new film is called Boop Beep, and it's a romantic comedy about a cardboard box robot looking for love. And this is the old Hal Roach lot, where they used to make the Little Rascals movies. You remember the Little Rascals. Spanky, Alfalfa, Buckwheat, Darla, Robert Blake. Most of the Little Rascals movies seem to be about putting on a show. There was always somebody whose dad had a barn, or mom had a costume in the attic, or something like that. And the next thing you know, Alfalfa's singing opera, and Darla's doing a tap dance number.
I'm the barber of Seville!
And that's exactly how we're making Boop Beep. Everybody's going to come together and give a little bit of what they have, and before you know it, we're going to be able to make a movie. We're building a team of contributors who give their time, their energy, their ideas, or even fund us on Indiegogo. Hopefully, by all coming together, we can make this movie happen. We're doing regular updates on Facebook.com/boopbeep, so you can watch us make the film from the ground up and find out how you can participate. If you can help us just a little bit on Indiegogo, you can really make a big difference. Plus, if you give us love, we give you love right back. We've got tickets to film festivals, autographed pictures, an invitation to a private party. You can even name a robot. Plus, it's all tax deductible. Thanks for following us on Facebook, and thanks for supporting us on Indiegogo. Now let's go make a movie.
We'll have a premiere of our own! But don't you gotta have the pictures to have a premiere? We'll get Walter with his camera and make one. We'll have a big premiere. You said it! Yeah, good!
And that, ladies and gentlemen, was Boop Beep. You can go check them out over again, www.indiegogo.com/boopbeep. If you don't have the ability to make a donation today, at least please Facebook them, tweet them, retweet them, get their project out there. You can also like and follow their project over at www.facebook.com/boopbeep. And I want to thank the director for actually being in the audience here. A very good example of promoting your film and having it sound and having it there. Oh, and that director was not Nick Baisley. That was a lower third mishap that we had. I blame you, sir.
I blame Wirecast. Actually, no, I blame you for saying, oh, by the way, here's the new Wirecast. Have fucking fun.
I told you last week we were doing the new Wirecast.
Yeah, you also said that we were going to knock down shit.
Yeah,
You know what?
I don't pay you. Is that what we're going to go back to?
3 jobs right now to support this goddamn show.
3 jobs?
Well, this is my 3rd goddamn job of the week.
Your job is to hit record.
No, my job is to make sure you look good. I'm failing.
You're failing miserably, sir. But you know what? We have another We have another part to the show right now. I want to thank our Indiegogo Project of the Week for being here as well. Again, I've said. But I want to go to the other part of the show. It seems like the masses are organizing against us, and there is a Skype kind of thing going on, and we want to get in on the discussion with these guys. So if they can hear us, which I hope they can, and they want to chat with us, I highly recommend that whoever's leading the Skype rally, please either Skype us over at FilmSnobbery, all one word, or give us a call in at the studio, 508-499-3669. Yes, Mr. Ryan.
I like how stuff is happening that you never really explained to me.
Yes.
Are they...
They're calling in.
Oh, shit.
There you go. At the conference, if you have the...
No, it doesn't. I'm just hitting answer.
Okay, just hit answer.
I'm done. I'm walking away. I'm just hitting answer.
Uh-oh. I hear me. That's not you. That's other people. That's not you. Sir, do you have your radio on? Sir, do you have your radio on?
I hear Nick like in five places.
Who's got their volume, their audio on? Someone turn the show audio off.
We're killing this town.
You killed the show.
We're killing this town. You killed the show.
I can't let Jerry answer either. This is chaos! I can't let Jerry answer either.
Oh, my audio is completely turned off. Okay, mine's off.
Okay, so just turn the show audio off.
Hi, Nick.
Hello.
I think we have too many people.
No.
It booted
No, it's
Jerry.
working now.
Too many people
Okay,
right now.
I think we're good. I think we're
got
good.
it.
All right. So all right. So who do we have on the line here? Let's go in order from womanliest to manliest.
Last then.
That's funny. Hi, Nick.
Hello.
Canada.
How are you?
I'm good.
Good. Well, thank you for calling in. And who's next on the line?
And
That was my fault.
I blame you. All right. So who do we have in total here? Let's introduce you guys formally to the audience.
Nobody wants to be the next woman.
KingIsAFink is here. We're both here.
Yay, KFink. Yes, Julie and Jessica, or as I like to call them, the authors of Peep Show.
Aw, that's nice.
No, you're the nice ones. You provide me with content. I'm the one who's going to kiss your ass for the next hour.
Well, we got to talk to porn stars all year, so we're not complaining about anything.
I know. Ryan is very jealous, I'm going to tell you right now. So, especially they got the Joanna Angel interview.
Yeah, that's not cool, dude. I want that.
Yeah, Ryan wants that one.
You're going to love the one we have for after Thanksgiving.
Uh-huh.
Ooh, I can't wait to see what's for pudding.
What's next? But there's some other good people on this call.
Awesome. So who are the other good people on the call here?
Well, if it's going down to manliness, then I guess I'll go next. Phil is here on tilt.
Phil is on tilt. And for those of you in the audience who don't know Phil, he is the director of Tilt. So, yay! And who else do we have?
Jake Stetler.
Jake Stetler, who I'm ducking because I owe him copies of Stuff Like Chuck.
you haven't sent that yet?
Not yet.
It
I've been
literally-
waiting so patiently.
Sir, literally, your copy is literally in my hands.
Can you play it? Maybe I can watch it.
I actually brought it with me to both Philadelphia and to Orlando in the hopes that somewhere going up and down the East Coast, I would bump into you.
I'm just going to hitchhike on 95.
Well, you'll be waiting a while now because we've decided we're done traveling until the end of the year because we have both New Mexico coming up in February and South by Southwest coming up in March. So it's going to be quite packed. And plus, maybe some other cool things coming in the near future that I can't talk about.
Once again, you never tell me anything.
I don't, but this is the thing we were talking about.
Oh, I know about this one.
It's cool.
I'm better than people.
Yes.
Yes.
All right. So you guys, I'm sure have been chatting.
Hold on, Nathan's here too.
Nathan's here?
Hey. Yeah.
Jeez, we got like up to tens of people. No.
Actually,
Who do we have, 5?
Because are we considering KFink as a 1 or as a 2?
KFink is a singular entity. They are one.
So we've got 5 plus Jerry.
5. Jerry doesn't count as a person.
So 5.
Okay, 5. Okay. So
Jerry.
Is Jerry on with us?
I think so.
Yes.
Yes, I hear him.
He had to call in the other line because since we have 5 on the FilmSnobbery line,
right,
booted Jerry off.
So does that mean that we could ostensibly have up to 10 people on this call?
We could have up to 10 if we had 2 calls.
Zach should call in.
We want to be 3 people.
What was that?
Yeah, I think KFink is 3, really.
Yeah.
They're bigger. The parts are bigger than the whole, dude. You got to give them points for 3.
Yeah, because we're like 1 plus 1, and then there's like a weird hive mind thing going on, and we're like a transformer, basically.
I'd like to think of you more as like the 3 boob, like it would be more like the 3 boobed hooker in Total Recall, but
Who doesn't?
you know, but. But yeah, no, it's all good. It's all good. So you guys were listening, hopefully, maybe, I don't know, to the show that we just did with Miles and everything. Was there anything that we chatted about during the show, or anything that you guys had been up to recently that you guys wanted to chat about, collectively or apart?
Well, we were trying to balance the audio between both. It was a little difficult. This is a work in progress here, Nick.
That's okay. You guys all sound wonderful so far.
We actually were just discussing how we could set up a mobile film festival on a train.
A mobile film festival on the train. Well, we all do want to run the train on PhilOnTilt.
Whoa!
No, you know, I think that would be fun if you could just take a train.
That one's worse than the 3 boob hookers. I know. Phil, you're in the front running there for the worst thing said tonight.
Oh, it's early. There's another one coming along.
That's about me before the show.
Jerry. I will say one new feature of this new Wirecast system that we do have that we really are looking forward to integrating into future shows, and now that we know that we can do like several people, Skype calls, all that kind of fun stuff, is we actually have the ability now to produce a scoreboard. And I think that it would be fun to have conversations or arguments with Jerry and keep score. Right on the board, right on the screen. It would be fun. But what? So what you guys were? I know you guys were balancing the audio, but what else? What else is going on with you guys? Let me go to Phil real quick. Phil, how's Tilt going? I got an email from you guys today from Kickstarter saying I got to give you some info so I get my perk.
Yes. Yeah, Tilt is going really well. And actually last night we shot one of the 4 short films that is going to accompany Tilt. We have 4 short films that go along with Tilt. Each one of those is a little bit of a story of one of the supporting characters. And we're going to put those out for everybody before Tilt actually comes out in March.
Awesome. Now, another thing you guys all kind of collectively, for the most part, share in common is that most of you guys were recently at the Flyway Film Festival over in, was it Minnesota?
Wisconsin.
Pepin, Wisconsin?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Did you guys have fun?
No.
No?
Oh, yeah. We know it was fun.
We had an excellent time.
Did anyone there win anything?
Gary won an Axe Award. Yeah, he won a sort of a Spirit Award, and the actual statue was a great big axe head. Based on Bill Elberman's film. Right.
Interesting. So what is that? Okay. I was going to say, what does that mean? And who won that again?
Gary King.
Gary
King. I think it was mostly just sort of celebrating that he is doing a lot with his own career, but that he also promotes other people's work.
Gotcha.
Basically.
Well, that is good to know. As a matter of fact, I actually have something going with Gary King probably in the near future that even he doesn't know a lot about yet, but he will.
What is with you?
What is with me?
He's like, we're going to do this. Did I tell you about that?
I can't tell you about. Oh, I told you. This is again.
I know, but still, if you expect Gary to work.
Look, Mojave 44 says stop whining.
Did Mojave 44 really say that?
Yes, it's in the chat.
I said tell Ryan to stop whining.
See, Ryan, Michelle says stop whining.
Well,
she just said it. All right. Well, no, that's good. Yeah, we're working on something on this end, and fuck it, no one watches this anyway, so I'll just say it. We may have and I'll know by next week. We may have our own official FilmSnobbery screening venue, and where we might be able to host screenings for filmmakers.
Beautiful.
Wait, what do you mean you might be able to? You have a venue, but you wouldn't be able to screen?
Well, I might just keep it all for myself. Maybe I'm just going to film nothing but FilmSnobbery live in there, and I'm going to be like, look at the screen, it's beautiful.
Hey, Miles is here. Hi, Miles.
Hey, by the way, Nick, my offer's still open to voice over your extras for you if you want.
I would like that. I would have to, I guess, provide you a script or something, huh?
Yeah, we'll talk.
We'll talk. We'll do
Come on, listen to that voice.
We'll do a little coffee talk. Look, any girl's voice seduces me. I'm good. Even KFink's got me going. Let me tell you. Why do you think I have them write the porn column? But
here, I thought it was my voice that had you going.
No, sir, it's the mustache. It's not the voice. It's the mustache.
Oh yes.
Oh yeah. Giggity goo. So you guys had a good time at Flyway. That's good. Did you? Now, who had things screening at Flyway?
Well, they had the Tilt that was introduced, the
right.
Tilt trailer or teaser.
Right.
Libido Land screen.
That's right. Right. I know a lot of this stuff. I want you to tell the audience.
You are the audience.
I am the audience. No, we're still on, people. We're on, and people
are from New Brunswick, and David Folt's probably there, and there's a bunch of people in the chat room.
The Waterhole screen this week is not part of the festival, but in an isolated special screening, which was wonderful. But I didn't get to see all the kids and play with everyone. So, but
we would highly recommend folks go next year. I mean, it was really fun, and it's a fairly small festival, but they would try to bring out as many filmmakers as possible, and so
bring Miles in.
It's just an amazing gathering of people, because you get to see people's movies and then get to talk with them about it, and that's one of the most fun parts of a film festival.
They do a lot of audience involvement is really strong.
And I'm all about that. Like, I really enjoy. That's one of the reasons why I enjoyed Orlando so much, was because it probably had the highest turnout of filmmaker attendance of any festival I'd been to, and I thought that was really. I thought that was really important and added a lot. I mean, I think between Jerry and I know we did about 16 hours worth of footage that we shot there, and I think we did maybe about somewhere between 20 and 30 interviews. So and we're still posting them.
Almost every movie.
Yeah.
The town was amazing too, Nick. They took in almost all the filmmakers. The people there were great.
Are they? That's good to hear too. I like when you get like a town behind a festival, kind of like they treat it as an actual cultural event versus like a just like a one-off kind of like, oh, you're here? Okay, well, when are you leaving? Which I've seen, and it's unfortunate. How was the attendance overall?
All of the screenings we were at were totally packed.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was great, and it was a lot of local people, but it was also a lot of people from Minneapolis.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, there were a lot of Minnesota people there.
Now, another thing I want to ask, because we actually have a festival director. We have First Glance Film, Bill Ostroff, who's in the audience. From all of your different perspectives, whether it's from a filmmaker perspective, audience member, whatever, what do you feel that from the various festivals you've been to this year, what do you feel that film festivals can do better?
Take this one, Nathan.
Oh, God, don't get me started.
Come on, Nate. Come on, give it to me, baby.
No, yes, I mean, where do you want me to start? I think, look, conceptually festivals are so awesome, and it's a great way to see, for films sort of get out to audiences that they're not necessarily going to see. My biggest problems are obviously with the submission process, which, I'm a big advocate of not paying fees, and I know there's very good reasons to pay fees, and I know this has been hashed about to death. But when I hear about festivals like Flyway and the fact that they bring in a nice local community and they bring the filmmakers and it's very intimate, I think that is the most valuable thing. And I've been to festivals where they're like, yeah, we're going to screen you, and you never hear from them again. And then they're surprised when you only bring your friends and family, because the promotion, you get lost in the shuffle in terms of bigger films and but there's a lot of different dynamics that can happen, but again, at the end of the day, they're a great way to get your film in front of an audience. So,
I mean, if there was anything in any film festival that you could change that you've been to, not including the Queens Film Festival, because we all know how that went. But
no, I want to talk about Queens again for an hour. Is that okay?
Yeah, let's talk about Queens again for an hour. I've got time. Ryan might not be happy about that. I'm already getting the finger, which is the sign. But no, I mean, what are some other things that people can do to avoid, having experiences like that? I mean, I found that, even when I was talking with filmmakers in Orlando and New Hampshire recently, that, and at first glance, that, some people are like, oh, we just submitted to a bunch of festivals. And I'm like, did you do any research on any of these festivals before you submitted? Or, not saying you guys didn't, I'm just saying that, you see that more shotgun approach. Did you guys learn anything from that?
Dead silence again.
Did we learn anything from the Queens Film Festival experience?
Yeah, like learn anything so that something like that doesn't happen to you guys again.
Yeah, well, definitely. I mean, that was kind of what we thought was our first big film festival, kind of our first time. I don't know. I mean, we were so excited to get into something. We were excited to go to New York, and then, but we hadn't made we didn't have all the filmmaker friends that we have now.
Right.
And didn't have a lot of people to compare experiences with. And so, yeah, when we came back, we were like, oh, we paid to get in, and there was no one there, and da-da-da-da, and everyone said, whoa, that's not how it's supposed to be. I mean, yeah, we definitely learned a lot from that.
And I think we did do research, and from other filmmakers' experiences too, like you really, unless you know people who have been there and had a bad experience, until you go and find out, you're not going to know a lot about what the festival does. Because, I mean, online, people can present themselves pretty much any way they want.
Yeah.
We have a friend who just went out to D.C. and,
like the D.C. Real Shorts or something like that.
Not the Real Shorts. It doesn't matter. He just went out to D.C. and there was, like, no one at any of the screenings.
Yeah, I've seen that too.
Right, and he won an award, which is cool. So he can come home and say, "Oh, I won an award at this festival in Washington D.C." And that always is great. But the reality is, he was really disappointed with his experience there. So
yeah,
the one thing that's helped since then is watching other people and seeing their pictures and their reports from other festivals.
Yeah.
Because last year, Gary King posted a lot of pictures from Flyway and wrote about it a lot. Mm-hmm. And really, that's how it got our attention. We thought, well, hey, it's drivable and it looks like a lot of fun, so we put it on our list.
No, and that makes absolute sense. Now, as far as awards are concerned at film festivals, is there, and I guess I put this out to everyone because maybe everyone will have a different opinion on it. Is there any real value to the awards? Is it how you spin getting the award, or is it, is there any real value? Or is it mostly just like, oh, I feel good because I got an award now? Is it like the Special Olympics approach to award giving? Like everyone gets an award, everyone tried their best, and everyone goes home happy. I mean, is it what's the real value of the awards experience?
I think for most people, it's just that they get to say that I'm an award-winning filmmaker.
Yeah.
And they can put that in their bio, and then it's true.
Yeah, people do pay attention to that. It doesn't mean that it came from a good festival, but if you say, I've won 10 awards with this short, people will look at it more readily.
Oh, and by the way, I want to give a quick shout out to Michelle, who's on, and Jerry wanted to say thank you for being one of the only people to listen to the actual Stuck Like Chuck commentary.
Oh, right.
Even Ryan's like, oh yeah, that happened.
I remember you guys filmed this commentary, you were so excited. I was like, oh, I'll totally listen to it, and I never did.
You never did. No, no one else did either. It's
Yeah,
okay.
it's all right. I feel bad.
But Jerry wanted to say thank you to Michelle for that.
Thank you, Nick, for being the voice of me.
I am being the voice of you, Jerry, because you're being very quiet tonight.
Because I was on mute because I was eating Hershey Kisses.
Dude, it's reindeer poop.
Someone on this Skype call, I think it was Nathan, microwaved something. I heard the distinct sound of a microwave door, and I heard the beep.
Who's microwaving? Here's an interesting question, because this never comes up on the shows. I generally interview a lot of people. I have between 50 and 60 people just on this list right here from the various shows that we've done. Our next show will actually be episode 50 of the live show.
Take a drink.
It's way more than that because
I'm assuming we're skipping next week.
Why? What's next week?
It's Thanksgiving. I'm not gonna.
Is it Thanksgiving next week?
It's every fucking last Thursday.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, I guess we're not here next week. Okay, so the week after. I guess my question for you guys though, is there anything that you want to ask us? Because we never. Usually it's a two-way dialogue, but really it's usually me asking the questions. Let's turn the tables a bit. Do you guys want to ask us anything? Whether it's me or Jerry or Ryan or.
No one cares.
Or my cat upstairs. I'll go get my cat. I don't know. No, we're not bringing.
Yeah, I've got a question.
I have an answer.
Good. You were just mentioning that you were planning on doing like a screening series or something else. What else do you have planned for the future of FilmSnobbery?
Oh, what do I have planned? Actually, a lot. Obviously, right now we're focusing short term on. I'm on the board of advisors right now for a film festival in New Mexico, the New Mexico International Film Festival, that's being headed up by Justin Evans, who is the director of A Lonely Place for Dying. So I'm working on that. The capacity I'm working on with them is I'm actually helping them out with their sponsors, because it's one of the things I'm halfway decent at is connecting people and companies and stuff like that. So that's one of the things I'm working on with them. So and then after that is in March is South by Southwest, and really what we're hoping to do is take what happens at South by Southwest and the publicity that we get from that, and use that to expand on the things that happen in the future. We want to offer more seminars, more teaching opportunities. That's where the Rain Dance New York City stuff fits in too. Hopefully we're hoping to work with them too more in the near future. We're hoping to expand on the consulting that we do here, and we're also hoping to in the near future, hopefully move the studio and do a few other kind of things to broaden what the show is and what it can be. Yeah, there's a lot. I mean, I mean, it's really not an easy question. There's a lot of stuff, and the sad thing is, I mean, we're going into year 3, January 31st of next year. Marks the 2nd anniversary going into year 3. We're hoping to monetize a little bit more, and not because we want to be millionaires or anything, but the fact of the matter is that we want to be able to sustain just like any other filmmaker does on what we do, and thus far we've been able to. It's been very difficult, but we've been able to, and now we want to just we want to expand that a little bit, because we're going to be doing things like screening series. We're going to do things like getting new equipment and building out the studio and doing a bunch of other stuff. That stuff ain't free. So, we want to be able to take what we're doing, and we want to be able to deliver it in larger venues. I would love to do FilmSnobbery live in various cities across the United States with a live audience, not like in a garage studio, not in a a little thing. I want to do it in theaters. I want to do it in you know, I want to do it in public venues, a la like a Kevin Smith when he does Smodcast or when he does his Q&A specials and stuff. I want us to have an audience like you see if you guys have ever watched out there Dignation or the Totally Rad Show or something like that. They have the ability, because they work, maybe not so much Totally Rad Show, but Dignation works a lot in the tech world. They're able to pull in huge numbers, both on their podcasts but also on their live events, because it's always a good time. And that's just one of the things we want to provide, is, you know, that kind of good time commentary that's hopefully educational to filmmakers. And do it in an audience with an actual audience that is sitting in front of you, so there's more interaction. I love that all you guys are on here right now, because there's the interaction, and I feel that sometimes is missing. Even when you have a guest that's going back and forth, and we have the chat room, and we have other things, it's really tough sometimes to get that true interaction with people. So that is that is kind of what we're up to in the future. I mean, we don't have the we don't want to be the biggest, but we just want to be the best. You know, and that's the long and short of what we're trying to do, is everything that we can do to connect filmmakers to what they need to succeed, and to give them a voice, and to give them, you know, things like reviews, even if it might take me a long time to get to them, because I realize that I'm only one person, and sometimes I take on too much. That's my own flaw. But you know, as long as we can continue hopefully adding value to the conversation, and as long as the community will have us, we're happy to be here to serve you. And that's what we're about. So, anything else?
Where's my DVD?
It's right here. Okay.
It's at a marker that we placed it on off I-95, and we put a little flag. It's buried under a rock. Just go looking for it. You'll find it.
The sad thing is we considered doing that.
I was like, can we find a rope?
You should.
We totally wanted to do like a treasure map type of thing to your DVD.
That would have rocked. You should have done it.
Yeah, but you never would have went and done it.
The hell yes, I would have.
All right.
I was
out of
considering
planes.
doing
He's
that,
not afraid of digging
placing them at
under
every
some rocks for a
restaurant
movie.
Stop that and tweeting the location. We totally should have just done that.
Yeah, pretty much. No, was that KFink that was just talking, or Jerry was talking over you?
Sorry.
No, it was me. We got to figure out who knows somebody at Union Pacific, so we can get our hands on a charter train, so it can be FilmSnobbery Film Fest on the rails.
That would be interesting. How would you what would you do there though? Like what's the setup? Like in your mind when you think about it, what's the setup?
I'm intrigued by what these guys at Roots on the Rails do, where they pull in stellar musicians, songwriters, and the audience who's willing to pay for that trip from LA down to Santa Fe, or whatever component of the railway they want to tag on to. Because there's something about bringing that audience together in an environment where they hang out together and spend time together that you can't repeat anywhere else. I just think it's worth exploring. Whether or not it's financially viable, I don't know yet, but first I want to find out whether I know anybody who knows anybody at UP to get hands-on. I mean, they're using an old school train to do these trips.
Huh.
Let's just steal one.
It's worth checking. Well, go to jail for that, dude. I just think it's worth checking out, because there's something to be said for the moving, traveling experience of gypsies on the road, which is kind of a lot like the business that people are in, right? Music, film.
No, absolutely. I mean, and if you're going to do, if you were going to do a train, are you screening movies on the train too? Is that
exactly? My point is, it's a moving film fest, right?
I got you. I'm wondering if you couldn't even taking that a different. Well, man, maybe that'd be a little bit tougher. I was going to say, because you have a little bit more control over where you go. What if you were to get like a big tour bus, like a rock star tour bus?
Could do the same.
And then, because that way you have a little bit more say of where you go, but also you have you screen the movie on the side of the bus.
We actually say we get one of those inflatable drive-in screens.
Yeah.
There you go.
When you just think about the story wrapped around the Venice Simplon Orient Express, right? Like it's an experience people want to have on the rails that most people can't afford.
I agree, and I think that having stuff on the rails too. I mean, the only one thing about being on the rails that I really enjoy is the experience of. It's not like a plane where you're up in the air and you see nothing for like 90% of your trip, and until you go to land, then you can see below the clouds and all that kind of stuff, and you can see shit. But I'm wondering, like, on a train, one of the cool things is being able to watch the landscape as it goes by. And so what do you do? Like maybe during the day you have like events where you do maybe a panel in the train car or something, or then you do maybe like a live show in there, so people can still kind of enjoy the rocking, peaceful, side to side kind of lull of the train, and then then at night you ratchet it up, have a nice little open bar situation, show the movies and all that kind of stuff. I think that actually sounds like a good idea.
And you stop, right? So you have the camaraderie during the day, you get the landscape, you get the going across the country, and you get a film experience. It's a whole new meaning to the club card.
I agree. It takes the party bus kind of mentality to a whole different level.
And if somebody dies on it, you get a good murder mystery.
Dude, we could play Clue on a train.
Let's murder Jerry.
We can do that.
We can murder Jerry.
That'd be awesome.
Yes.
Fuck Jerry.
Ryan said that.
Part of something.
Jerry, as long as I'm part of something. Oh, Jerry. We make fun of Jerry, but
yeah, I'm on my own Skype call.
By the way, I want to say a quick hello to Zach Forsman, who stopped by as well, and also KGNYC, who we don't see often enough. We would like to see her more often, but it's probably because our time slots suck.
Doran Kipper from the Orlando Film Festival, he just joined us, the director of Misdirection.
The director of Misdirection, who just actually submitted his film to the New Mexico Film Festival. I know this because I was informed he did. So good on you. So I got a question for you filmmakers out there who are going to film festivals and stuff. If film festivals sit there and say, like, okay, we're going to fly you out there, how important to you is that versus, like, say, getting a revenue share from the box office, or say getting getting other perks, like, oh, we're going to feed you, or we're going to put you up in a hotel, or we're going to do other things, like in order of importance, like what is that kind of, does that even matter to you? What can you get out of the festival that matters?
I would say certainly if you can be involved in a festival that will cover your travel so that you don't have to spend money, you don't lose money going to the festival, that would be a nice place to start.
Yeah, but I think at the end of the day, really, it comes down to you want to interact with an audience, you want to find your audience, and anything I can do to do that, I'm happy to do. So, the opportunity to screen and anything I can do to get in front of an audience and talk to them about the movie is most important to me. And anything a film festival throws in on top of that's just sort of gravy as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
Jake Stetler says, can Nick get us all a place to stay at South by Southwest, please? I got to tell you, I'm hoping to raise enough money to go to South by Southwest comfortably. If that includes if that includes like a massive hangover like suite, the mama brought out the big purse, as it were. I would love to have a few people come stay with me, but unfortunately the what do you call it there, the passes for that film festival, the lanyard, that's what I was kind of indicating, Ryan, the lanyard. The passes for that festival are like ridiculously expensive. Like my pass alone is like $1,000.
Yeah, I can't even afford to go to the festival.
No, I get a free pass, thankfully, but like if I were to buy it, that's what it would cost me, and I only get one.
Right. Which means that other people that might be filming the panel or being part of it or helping out won't be able to go.
Hey, is Jerry going to South by Southwest?
Yeah.
That's a very good question. Jerry, are you going to South by Southwest?
Nick, are you starting an Indiegogo campaign to raise money for it and then paying for my way? Because then, yes.
What a very noble thing for you to have mentioned that we should start an Indiegogo campaign for us to go to South by Southwest, because Indiegogo happens to be a partner of FilmSnobbery. Let me ask you guys, here's another good question, because, you know, again, I like, you know, asking, you know, is this thing better than this, that, the other thing, why? Why Kickstarter versus Indiegogo?
We did Kickstarter for Tilt because we thought, well, for a few reasons, and Phil, you should totally jump in, but one, we felt like the site was a bit sleeker. Two, we really liked that they had the deadline, and I know that Indiegogo has that where you can implement that yourself now. They didn't have it when we started ours, and the deadline was a big part of it, and the look of it was a big part of it.
Okay.
So we're there. Thank you.
Yeah, well, there was one other thing to me, and that was that Kickstarter was an all or nothing thing, where you either get the money or you don't. And where if you were on Indiegogo, let's say that you are trying to make a film and you know that you can make your film for $5,000 or whatever, and then you're going to give everybody DVDs. But let's say that you only raised $1,000 and you get that money. Well, now you still got to try to make the film and give people DVDs, and that I didn't want to be put in a situation where I was still that I had promised people things that I couldn't deliver because I didn't raise the full amount that I needed to raise.
Now let me ask you a question, Phil. If you had not met your goal for Tilt the movie on Kickstarter, would you still have made the movie, or how would it have affected you making that movie?
Yeah, we would have still made the movie, but then we wouldn't have had the DVDs that we're sending out to people and stuff like that. So that would have lowered our budget, and then we would have had to do other things to lower our budget, as far as like try to find places for actors to stay. I probably would have had 20 people living in my living room or something, you know, and instead of hotel rooms, and yeah, so we would have had to do a lot of things like that to cut corners to get the cost down as low as possible.
Well, I noticed you didn't have FilmSnobbery out there to shoot your behind-the-scenes doc, but, you know, I'm just saying. Just saying. No, it's all good.
Hey, Nick, I did consecutive Kickstarter and Indiegogo campaigns for No Sanctuary, thinking that would be a good idea to compare the two.
Okay.
I actually shot myself in the foot, I think, doing that. And I eventually went with Indiegogo only because of the people, because they contacted the Indiegogo people. I can't think of their names off the top of my head.
Slava and Danae?
Yeah. They contacted me directly and worked with me, so I went with them because of that.
I got you. And that's... Excellent. And now let me ask you, though, how did you feel about what was promised on their end versus what was delivered?
Wait, Indiegogo specifically?
Yeah, Indiegogo specifically.
Well, I gotta say, I kind of went with them because they kept, they really, I felt like they were going to really promote it a little bit more than they did. And I did for No Sanctuary. My film was for, finishing funds. And I don't feel like they came in like I thought they were going to.
Yeah, I hear that a lot, and that's why I wanted to get that out there. Actually, I wanted to get that out there, and the reason why is because I want to make sure that not to you specifically, but I want to make sure that that's something that is known out there, because you're not the first person to mention that, and I want to make sure that they know they're aware of it, so that they can fix that.
Right. I mean, the best thing for me was really the exposure. I mean, I didn't get the complete funding I wanted, but it was enough to update my editing station. But mostly, I got 10,000 hits on the video, so it was more of just getting awareness out there for it. And
by the way, how's No Sanctuary going? I apologize if I'm not as up on that particular film as I probably should be. But
no, that's a little bit my fault. I was talking to Phil earlier, like I don't have a team to kind of be, I either have to be working on the promotion or working on the editing, and I'm kind of focused on the editing now.
Sure.
Getting dangerously close to picture lock, and I'm starting on sound. and the opening credits, and I'm thinking by February at the latest, be complete.
Good. Well, I mean, congrats on at least getting it shot and getting, you know, picture lock and all that. I mean, that's a quarter. I wouldn't say it's half the battle. That's a quarter of the battle. Finishing it up is the half the battle, and then getting it out there is the other half. So you know, but that's good. And I will say, I want to say hi to Doran Kipper. I know we've already said hi to him, the director of Misdirection, who's in here. He actually asked as well, a little bit further up here in the chat room. He said, are there any other feature films that have been successful on Kickstarter or Indiegogo? And you guys obviously are, you know, the Tilt, you know, success stories there. No Sanctuary, you had a modicum of successes as well. In as much as I heard of your project, so that's a plus. You know, I can't be the only person, so that's good too. You know, I mean, even if you didn't raise all the money, at least getting awareness out there, which is another thing that I think that Indiegogo and Kickstarter are good for. It's not necessarily just a money-raising tool, which, I mean, it is, but I think it's a good tool to start building awareness on in another venue that, you know, has a different set of eyes looking at it. The only time that I get frustrated with Indiegogo or Kickstarter are when filmmakers continuously, not that I don't want filmmakers to support each other, but when filmmakers continuously pass like the same $5 around to each other, you know what I mean? It's like we all donate to each other's stuff. I'm like, great, then who's actually making money? Because I'll tell you who's making money at that point: Kickstarter and Indiegogo, because they're taking a piece of the fees.
And guess who's not making money?
Yes, I'm not making money. So yeah, so you guys, I'll have you guys talk to the audience. What are some other projects that you've seen in the past that have raised money through using crowdfunding?
Trigonus was successful with Cerise.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he raised about $5,500 or $6,000 or something with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we also have Gary King.
Right.
Yeah, how do you write a Joe Sherman song? Made 15,000. Or was it 15 or 30?
30. It was
30.
30.
Yeah, his was 30,000, and then you have David Brandon's Goodbye Promise, which raised 15.
Huh? Right.
And
Bill
then
Seneca's music film.
Yep.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, amazing.
Film Fest. Flyway Film Fest met their goal.
Yep. Yeah. Now, and that's another question too. How do you guys feel? And I only ask this because I've been asked this by other film festival directors. How do you feel about film festivals that use crowdfunding to fund their fests? Do you feel like it's kind of a form of double dipping almost?
Well, I think it depends on the festival, because I was all for like the New Mexico Film Festival, their Kickstarter campaign that was going on.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, I'm just Yeah, I
didn't see it for Flyway. I didn't see it as double dipping, because part of the reason they did it was so that they could not charge submission fees, which again it's really great to eliminate that for independent filmmakers, and and then also provide the lodging and travel expenses as much as possible. I mean, as a filmmaker, it was great.
Excellent.
Oh, that's not.
So, was there? What else has been? I mean, there's been a lot of different things that you guys have all attended or been, and seen over the course of the past year. I guess either individually or whatever, if you guys want to answer, what are some of the biggest lessons that you guys have taken over the past year in your careers? Like, where you look back at where you were and then where you are now in your respective careers.
Come on.
What was that?
I don't know what that was.
Gary King just joined the chat room. We should get him to call up.
Gary King should call up. He said just logged in. Hi, Gary. And so where are you guys? Where you were and where are you now? Like, what's the biggest thing you've taken over the past year? And
what have you taken?
The biggest lesson you've learned in your career that's helped you out over the past year? And I'll start with Phil.
Find other like-minded people and trick them into working with you.
Okay. Now, KingIsAFink, your turn, and you're not allowed to use the same answer.
Oh, yeah, that was hard. No, that's one that, that's changed everything for us is collaborating with people because, we're all used to doing everything on our own. And so to have someone to share the load with you is great.
And I would say for something new, like any kind of idea, even if you think that they're kind of crazy, like go for it.
Mm-hmm.
Because, I don't know, people want to have fun and people want to be involved in fun stuff. So when you have, zany ideas, put them out there.
Yeah, don't spend all this time and make a boring movie.
Don't be safe.
Gotcha. Oh, by the way, Ryan, I need you to do me one quick favor, because Nathan will appreciate it, because Nathan is here with us. Take the camera and pan on up to the waterhole poster.
I can't turn the video back on because I'll get that advertisement that'll drown everyone else out.
Well, he's going to do it anyway.
No, I appreciate it. I want to be able to memorialize it in my brain.
Oh, there it is.
Wow, he zoomed in on it and everything.
Nice.
You can always see it in the
Shocks
shot.
him.
It's just the very bottom. You can see the credits in every shot.
Yeah. There you go. The waterhole.
Let's leave it there for now.
You're going to leave it there? Really? All right. And you know what? While we're at it, let's go to... no one knows what the Crimson Mask is, unfortunately, though. We really don't... there's my Orlando Film Festival shirt. No.
Strange, but...
We need, guys, I got to tell you, you guys are all here. You see my set. We need more. There's the boom.
I want to see the garage door.
You want to see the garage? Seriously?
Yeah.
All right, let's go ahead. Pan over. They're totally, yeah. There's the garage doors.
Nice.
Yeah, we've literally outfitted just one half of the garage. Well, kind of one half. This is your tour of the FilmSnobbery set.
That's beautiful.
It's beautiful, man. So yeah, really, you're gonna leave that right in the shot, huh? I hate you so much. Oh, there you go. See, you've actually got to do something now, Ryan. Are you happy? This is almost like you're a real director.
No.
Actually, or at the very least, like a shitty DP.
Massachusetts law says that if you're doing a stage production or a television show, you're allowed to smoke inside, even though it's illegal. I'm just saying.
Yeah, Massachusetts is also an at-will employee type of thing, and how many people have I already canned from this production?
I'm actually, you know what the funny thing is? I'm the only person other than you that's been here since pretty much the beginning.
I agree with that.
Everyone else sucks.
Pretty much, Jerry. I'm kidding. Jerry's good. I think Jerry got a bit of a bad rap with Stuck Like Chuck and Get Stuck. That's my opinion. And I hear a baby in the background that also agrees with me. Yeah. I thought for a second that was Jerry crying, but it's not. It's the baby. Okay. I get confused because I hear Jerry cry a lot.
I was crying earlier.
He was. Like, I don't want to be mean, but no kidding. No.
What was it that I said before? You were just like, how are you doing? Is everything good? I'm like, I'm me. How could it be good?
Oh, Jerome. We all love Jerome. But what was I going to say? So, Miles Maker says it's my kid. Nice. She shoots boobies. Check the chat room, Nick. Hold on, I got to check the chat room. Hold on.
I bet Davis knows more about filmmaking than Amazon Studios.
Oh, Jesus. Amazon. That's a great thing. Let's talk about that. Amazon Studios. Discuss.
Got my hopes up until I read the fine print.
No, I can't. I'm affected.
Always about the fine print.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, yeah. Oh, real quick. What I was saying before is, you see what our set looks like. We want to add more of your swag. We want to add more of our swag to our set. So send in the addresses in the chat room. Go ahead and send in swag so we can decorate this more.
I know it's like beating a dead horse, but why don't we have a Stuck Like Chuck poster? That should be easy to get.
You'd be surprised. Jerry's a little too, let's call him cheap, just for the sake of being sued. Let's call Jerry cheap. He will never send us a poster.
You got a sticker.
I got it.
Actually,
I put up my DVD until I get it.
Poster.
I can put up your DVD. I have the Please Do Not Disturb jack-off sock.
Hanging on the wall. Get the stapler.
Why is it? I don't. What? Give me the stapler.
Actually, I would have given you one of the small posters when you were here. I should have done that.
Really?
And I got to pay.
All right, Jerry, here you go. Let's see.
I'm not watching right now, so I can't see.
I don't care. There. There you go, Jerry.
I have no idea what just happened.
It stays there. I'm excited to that, Barry.
There you go. And I put you right next to the Crimson Mask, Jerry, because that's your buddy Elias.
Because I'm trying to ride off his coattails.
His $1 million coattails.
Elias, can I film the making of your film and interview Madison?
Yeah. So, all right, So, Amazon Studios, Doran Kipper, actually, here in the chat room, says, Amazon Studios will be the dumping ground for scripts that couldn't sell. And what do you guys feel about that? Yay? Nay?
It'll be worse than that.
Does it get any worse than that?
No, I mean, there's plenty of great scripts that don't sell. I mean, this is going to be sort of like some free-for-all place where one crazy idea is going to kind of hit and make the top of the pack, and if it gets produced, it's probably not going to be very good. I mean, we were talking about it a little bit earlier, and more power to anyone that can benefit from this, but I can't really imagine that it's going to produce something of quality, and I'd be happy to be wrong. But
well, who do you think can benefit? Who do you think can benefit from it, besides Amazon?
Well, I think they probably wouldn't benefit at the end. I mean, I just don't think they can make enough money off it. But I think if somebody gets the exposure and it gets them the right, I mean, it's that whole Hollywood dream. Anyone who can get the attention in the right area stands to benefit from it. But I don't know that it'll happen.
Yeah, I mean, I guess what a lot of people are arguing about with it right now is the whole intellectual property aspect of it. If I submit a script there and then someone rewrites all or part of that script, who does that script belong to now? It belongs to Amazon. And they can choose to give me, like, say even if my script wins something, they can choose to give me all, part, or nothing of that particular prize money. It could go to the entire sum of money could go to the guy who rewrote the script, or maybe just a scene, or a guy who did maybe some animatics for it or something, or so what.
Amazon also reserves the rights to not pay you anything, even if your script is picked. If they do a rewrite when they film it, and everyone knows the script is rewritten when it's filmed. So
yeah. Now
that was real. When I read that, I was like, forget it.
Yeah. Which is, I mean, because Jerry, when Jerry first checked it out, he was like, this sounds kind of cool for like half a second. And he was considering taking a script that he had hanging around and maybe, throwing it in the mix. And then as, after he gave it 24 hours to kind of read up more on it and kind of check it out more, especially after all the furor kind of came up on it, he realized that there's really nothing good about this. Like, what's the bright side? Like, if someone were to get some exposure from this, even if it's for a project they submitted, they can't do anything with that project. I mean, unless Amazon decides to do something with it. So, do you see it as
They've already waited 18 months.
Do you see it as a launching board for personalities versus projects?
But at the end of the day, though, I mean, if you're a writer that's just writing for the sake of getting a project out there, I mean, you could be, I mean, I don't know the contractual terms you'd be up against, but if you option something or get it to a studio, you could be in, like, similar shitty waters, with the studio or going that route. I mean, it's an ugly road to kind of cross. getting something produced through like third parties like that.
It also seems to me to be a real weird avenue for Amazon to go. Like, it reminds me a lot, and Jerry and I were talking about this too, of the whole YouTube thing, when YouTube was like, all right, we're going to allow you to do VOD now on YouTube. You know, and we all saw how that frickin' fared. That tanked day one. But
well, even worse is what we were talking about a little bit earlier, and what immediately came to me is Project Greenlight, where you had like a great, you know, independent studio and this kind of altruistic, like we're going to find great projects and really shepherd them through the Miramax label, and it was a disaster. I mean, the show was fun to watch, but the movies did not work at all. I mean, you can't make movies by committee that way.
although I did like Feast.
I did like Feast, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh wow! I loved that season of making Feast, but the movie did not do it for me.
All right. Well, then that's fine, but you know, you're wrong. Anyway, moving on.
As I always say.
It's different sensibilities for different type of genres too. I mean, you probably have a different idea of what that genre is your favorite. You know, what you have for favorite movies of that genre. I mean, like name one movie that you really like from that kind of era, that genre.
Tremors. Is that?
Okay. Yeah. No, Tremors is classic. I mean, it's classically horrible, but it's classic. I mean, I enjoy watching that movie because of what it is. The sequels are absolute garbage, but.
Actually, even in terms of like cheesy movies, I watched Predators the other night.
Okay.
I enjoyed it.
I didn't see that yet. No.
We should.
We should.
We should watch Bourne.
Oh, Jesus, Bourne. So Jerry and I decided while we were on our trip, here's a little story from Jerry and I in Orlando. Jerry and I, we knew we were going to be interviewing Alison Brie from Community, Mad Men, all this kind of stuff. We knew we were going to be interviewing her about her movie Montana Amazon that was going to be at the festival, and it was her and Haley Joel Osment. And is that Haley? So we knew we were going to talk to her, so we wanted to watch this really cheesy horror movie that we knew she was in. So Jerry grabbed it from Netflix, and we decided we were going to watch it in the hotel room, you know, while we were there. And what ensued was a 4 a.m. viewing of probably the best, worst movie since Troll 2.
I love it. I absolutely love the film. Like, I've been recommending it to people. It is so horribly bad that it is one of the funniest comedies of the year.
It's so horribly bad that even Alison Brie, when we told her we watched it, she apologized for it on camera.
I saw that.
What was it?
Bourne. It's called B-O-R-N. Bourne.
I think it's 2007.
Yeah. Yeah, Dora Kibber, yeah, Montana Amazon, yeah. Having that kid laughing in the background, by the way, is accentuating the soundtrack to this story.
It's almost like having a studio audience.
I know.
It is.
Like our kid laughing.
It's about a virgin getting pregnant by her demon brother.
Who's trying to get out of hell.
And apparently that's the only way out.
And yeah, it's just messed up. It has Kane Hodder in it too. Kane Hodder from Friday the 13th and stuff. It's bad. It's just bad, but it's awesome because we laughed throughout the whole thing. Because the effects are horrible. Alison Brie puts on this affected kind of childlike voice.
Channel, like Friday the 13th. This is like the whole this just doesn't work. It's just like kill her, mommy, kill her. But it's done so ridiculously bad.
So, if you guys could...
If you learned anything from this show, watch Bourne.
Yeah.
And then Stuck Like Chuck.
And then Stuck Like Chuck. No, dude, even the kid that's on here doesn't want to watch Stuck Like Chuck.
You know what, actually, funny thing about Stuck Like Chuck? One of my roommate's friends was over the other day.
Yeah.
And he's going through my DVDs, and he's like, what the hell is Stuck Like Chuck? And he literally pulls it out of my DVD shelf and then tosses it aside. It was hysterical.
Although, like, to give Jerry credit, Jerry is a fucking superstar in Orlando.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's retarded. I've never seen someone like that is an independent filmmaker, with the exception of maybe Gary King in New York City, or parts of New York City, go down to Orlando to, like, a film festival and just be treated like a rock star the entire time. Like, I played such second banana to Jerry in freaking Orlando, it was ridiculous. That being said, fuck Jerry.
That's what actually it made me get really upset when I came home, because I'm like, I'm a rock star there, and then I come home and I'm shelving books at my local library and doing my part-time job. So, like, this is wrong. Why am I doing this?
Oh, by the way, if there's anyone in New York who would like to take over our cult following column, please do, because I need the help. And I could probably get you free movies.
Paid?
Jerry, you're not doing anything for me. We already know you're a horrible, horrible reviewer.
And if I get paid, I do it.
Yeah.
Nice.
But we're actually at our cult following column. We're looking to update that, or it's either updated or get rid of it. That's the long and short of
I
it.
wrote a piece about Bourne.
Well, the whole point of it is I don't want to talk now. Okay. All right, that's better. All right. That was fun for a minute. But no, I don't. The whole point is that it's about cult and midnight movies, and we've actually cultivated a relationship with the Sunshine Theater in New York City, where we actually have full access to that theater for that stuff, and we just need someone in New York who's looking to, you know, get their name out there a little
bus fare to go to the city.
Jerry, I'm not giving you shit. You're lucky I give you airtime, and that's free. Moving on.
I feel like I brought you to Orlando, even though you drove.
I think Gary King should call in on the phone. I think he should. Gary King.
He said he could because
he's not on a laptop.
It doesn't mean he's got a cell phone. Call in on the cell phone. I'll give you the number. Doran Kipper says Nick is +1. I think you should get the scoreboard out. You don't know how to do it, do you?
No, you meant Nick is +1 because you're my +1 in Orlando.
Oh.
So +1 for Jerry.
You're getting tired over there, aren't you?
No,
All right.
this chair sucks.
I know it does. We need to get better chairs.
No shit.
Yeah.
I've been asking for a better chair for a year and a half.
You go to a campaign.
Buy one.
Better chairs for FilmSnobbery.
That would be actually really good. Better chairs for FilmSnobbery. Indiegogo. We're looking for $20.
$50.
The image will just be a picture of your ass and it says "Need help."
But KingIsAFink would be all for that as long as the ass was on a cake.
What do you get, cake?
Cake. Gary
We
stole
don't
my.
like cake sitting. We just make movies with cake sitting.
You make movie with cake sitting. Yes.
Yeah, there's a difference.
Actually, this is a so K-Fink, you guys I know are working on something else. What are you guys working on?
We're working on a bunch of things, but we just shot a new sexy short that we're hoping that we're going to submit to CineKink for next year, and we're working on a couple of screenplays.
Excellent. And are the screenplays you're working on features or shorts?
They're features. We're doing the one that we're doing right now is we're adapting a book by Kevin Keck, not even a memoir by him, and then we're going to be like you and say, well, we have some really great things coming up, but we'll tell you about it later.
Is that what I say? I don't think you have enough hair to say it my way. Or I have too much hair, or you have not
You
enough.
could have did that before.
Fun. Oh, snap. Is that what you're doing? I don't know. I do have lots of things I want to talk about. I just can't. I want to.
Pissed about it.
It is. This child is just very upset at the state of independent film today.
Who isn't?
Who is it? I know. Well, I want to try something. I want to try a little word association with the kid. Nick Baisley. Ah! No, kidding. No.
The audience of 10 years from now, man. Good.
You know, hey.
Building.
I gotta tell you, this is like the cigarette companies. Like, I gotta hook them while they're young. You know what I mean?
Don't talk about cigarettes. It's not funny.
I know you want to smoke, but we can't. Let's see. First glance film. We have some great stuff coming up in 2011, but we only tell Nick. Let's see. Who else is? Conrad's leaving. Conrad, that's bandwidth expired. Bye, gang.
Yes, that's strange New Brunswick thing. They probably have a big tax on bandwidth.
Oh, bloody hell. Let's see.
Sorry, Conrad.
Bye, Conrad. Ciao. Konnichiwa.
So who do we know that's like a whizzy IT engineer geek that can find a way to make the live audience and the Skype audience come together for the Film Snobbery show? And I do love that you wave your hand like my ex-husband used to, by the way, Nick. It's good.
Me. In what way do you want to bring together the Skype audience and the live audience?
So think about the dynamic of having a live audience in person and chatting in real time, and you can hear them as opposed to having to type at them. I think you'd be onto something there.
Well, we're working on that. I don't think it really takes a tech to do that. I think it just takes a venue where people actually are. You know, where they're in front of you.
Unless you get like 20 Skype accounts and have someone call into each different Skype account and then have them all at the same time.
It would be chaos.
It would be chaos. I mean, you know how many crying babies would be in the background?
That would be awesome for we should do that for the 24-hour show.
Actually, the 24-hour show is something we need to do another one of.
We did that 5-hour show. You did that 5-hour show that time, right?
We've done many hour shows, and I think the record we've done, when we tried to do a 24-hour show last time, we made it, was it 18 hours, Jerry, or 21?
No, you made it 20, I think it was 20 and a half, 21 hours. I tried to get you to keep going, but you just didn't want to.
I was pissed.
I was too.
You were gone.
Exactly. That's why I left.
9 hours, and that was before I was even the co-host of the show.
That was like his audition.
I was just a guest, and I was just like, okay, and they're like, don't leave me, Jerry.
But no, that's
alone. And now you just can't wait to get rid of me.
I would love to have an audience that had more input, or I could play to a little bit more. It would be cool having one of those like large, like LG kind of slightly curved big LCD monitors, and all it is just different video Skype pictures or avatars from the entire audience, and so like they can see me, I can see them. I can mute and or talk to each of them individually at any time. Oh snap!
You don't have the technology.
I don't at all have the technology. At this point, I'm trying to keep my internet connection on. That's where we're at.
At best, you can have 10 people talking.
I owe Jerry money. Let's put it this way, okay? Yeah. But yeah, it's getting tight. When it's towards the end of the year, it's getting tight. But what are you gonna do, right? Ain't nobody gonna break my stride. I just re-upped FilmSnobbery.com for another year, so you guys got me for at least another year. I hear Ryan's like, shit. But I will say, yes, money's a bit tight on this end. And that whole prospect of like a, as my mother calls it, a real job, just doesn't appeal to me. Oh, she's real Carol Brady about the whole thing. She really is, you know, doesn't really understand anything of this. And just constantly, you know, I tell her, oh, I got to go to a film festival. She goes, well, shouldn't you go get a real job?
Hey, I get that too. Why are you going to Orlando? They're not showing stuff like Chuck again.
Yeah, well.
I'm handing out a reward named after me. Just go on that day then.
Yeah, just jot down real quick, hop on back.
Yeah. That was an interesting drive. But we'll get it. I wish we could have stopped more, like, to chat with people.
I wish we could have filmed it.
So do I.
Like, we needed an in-car, like, mount for the dashboard for the camera.
Yeah, otherwise it looked just really crappy. Yeah, we tried. We actually did. We Right before we were leaving, we stopped the car on the side of the road, and we were, we were testing out different camera angles and stuff to see if like there was anything that would capture safely both Jerry and I, like chatting and stuff like that, and we just couldn't really do anything. The best we probably could have done was like a over-the-shoulder type of thing, but at the back of our heads. But who wants to stare at my bald head for 20 hours?
I would be willing to put money on the fact that Jerry was probably silent for hours at a time.
No. Jerry is a bit of a jabberjaw, so to speak.
Cathy.
Chatty Cathy, a little bit. You pull his strings.
I'm going to keep you awake.
And you did a great job until you fell asleep on the ride home.
Yeah, well, that was your fault.
Of course it is.
You made him tired.
It was our fault by deciding to stay out till 4 a.m. the night before we had to leave, and then not leaving Orlando until 6 p.m. when we were supposed to leave at noon.
Yeah. But on the plus side, I did get an Apple TV out of it.
To borrow,
but still. And actually, I will say, the way that festival was organized, in as much as the what do you call it? Bye, KG. Bye. Bye. As far as the way that Film Festival was organized, as far as the screenings, they had all the screenings running off of Apple TVs, and it was really kind of cool.
Nice.
It was Apple TVs that were controlled with the remote app on iPads.
Nice.
So they were controlling, I think it was 6 or 7 theaters from one iPad on using multiple playlists on several Apple TVs.
Wow.
Yeah, it worked out really well.
Especially for the shorts, because then they were able to put overlays for each short, and they were able to put what film is playing now, who's the director, and like brand it with the Orlando Film Festival at the front of each short. That was really cool.
Doran Kipper, of course, says the iPad control was cool, but it was buggy. I was in 3 screenings that crashed. Well, we weren't in any of those screenings, so I can't vouch for that. But I mean, for the bulk of the movies that showed, and they showed a lot of films there. I'm still watching movies like a mofo, trying to get caught up. And by the way, if you guys haven't seen Doran's movie Misdirection, fantastic film. I love the way that film looks, and I'm not just saying that because he's there.
It, and it was really cool.
You like the dude?
He's trying to make it into a feature, and I can definitely see a story there.
Honestly, I don't even see it as a feature. I see it as a TV show. That could be a weekly serial.
It could actually. Yeah, the way it's set up, it really could be. I was thinking epic movie, but yeah, a TV series would work too.
No, I was looking at that as like the Dresden Files, but better. It was the Dresden Files, but better.
Okay.
You don't even know what that is.
I don't think Jerry watches television.
Jerry doesn't really know things.
I watch Community and 30 Rock and The Office.
That's all you watch.
So he watches NBC.
He watches NBC. He's their one person.
But I only watch the comedies.
Yeah.
Actually, I only watch like Thursday night comedies.
Jerry,
it really is must-see TV.
Yeah, must see on another channel. I watch it
on Hulu.
On Hulu. That's what I do. I watch all my TV on Hulu, mostly because I have no TV. I'm also happy now that I can watch Conan on TBS online, because Conan's back, everyone.
Yeah.
My mentor.
Up to a much better host.
Yay! Oh, he is a much better host. Are you kidding me? When it comes to hosts in general, given the material I'm working with, I think I do a good job. But I think in general,
and it's all in his hair.
I will agree. It is all in the hair. It is all in the hair. But I shaved my head recently, and this is all that grew back. But yeah, yeah. Let's see here. Conan's interview with Harrison Ford is hilarious. I agree. Let's see here. Lucas McNally's rent-free year plan yet. Nick, you should consider doing something like that. I haven't seen the Lucas McNally rent-free year. What is that, KFink?
He just put this post up on his website, and he's going to just basically travel around the country next year, crashing in different cities where people are making movies, and he's going to help them out, do blogs about it, and do videos, that kind of thing.
For money or for place to sleep?
Say that again?
I mean, how is he financially supporting the trip?
I think he's going to do some sort of crowdfunding, I don't know that for sure. But he definitely, he's not asking people to pay him to help on the movies. He is looking for anything they can provide in terms of a place to stay.
Right, I think it's more crowdsourcing than crowdfunding. I think that you give them something to eat, place to stay, that type of thing.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool, actually.
But I think that he also wants to get sponsors, though, like corporate type sponsors, and he would put signs up on his vehicle and things like that. And then also he would start a website which he would post his videos and his written blogs about his journeys, and then would let people advertise on his site then too.
Yeah, and he's also looking for donations just for items, so, I think he needed a laptop. He's like, does anyone have an old laptop? And do you have a half-used, Starbucks card? Or do you have a box of Red Bull? Like, goofy things like that, but those things add up.
He's looking for new and used condoms. I know. I understand. Because we all know what filmmaking's about, folks. Coke and whores. Coke and whores.
If you turn them inside out, they're still good.
Oh.
It's only if you're on the road with musicians, dude.
Right. Ryan. Sorry, just looking at Ryan's face on that one just made me laugh.
Or if you're on the road with the self-helpless crew.
Self-helpless. There you go.
What happened to those guys?
That's a good question. Very good, because they're from my neck of the woods. They're from Cambridge or Boston or something like that. And good question. I haven't talked to them in a long time. Yes, I don't even have an answer for that.
Got famous.
Who did what?
I was going to say that obviously means they got bigger and too famous to talk to you.
Apparently.
Actually, the last time I heard from them is right before we started shooting Tilt. I actually ordered their DVD off their website, and there was also a T-shirt that I thought was funny, and so I ordered the T-shirt and the DVD, and they sent me a package that had like 3 DVDs in it and several shirts and just a bunch of different stuff, and they wrote a note in there and stuff. It was really nice.
Was it Cassidy?
Usually I've talked to Cassidy, but the note was written by one of the other guys, though.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I know Cassidy. Him and I have spoken a couple of times. But yeah, you're right. I lost track with them. Did you watch the movie?
Yeah, I did.
Did you enjoy it?
I liked parts of it.
Wow, that's a really non-committal answer.
Did you watch it?
No, really. The movie.
That's like my review of Jerry's movie. It was 86
Wait, I just
minutes
realized
long.
we can get honest reactions from them. What do you all think of Stuck Like Chuck?
No one's seen it, Jerry. No one's watched it.
Silence.
We loved it. We even loved the director's commentary.
Wow. Now we know you're lying.
I wouldn't know. It's sitting on Nick's desk.
If you like, I'll even open up the package. Oh, there's the DVD. It fell
Number
out.
7, right?
There's Jake's DVD.
No, actually, this one isn't yours. Yours is in my bag. I was just using this as a prop.
Mine's number 7. I remember you saying that.
Is that what it is? Oh wait, this one's number 7. Yours is not number 7. Yours is whatever one is not in a broken case.
Is number 7 the one you threw during one of the tapings?
No, that was another number that I threw because that case was like shattered.
Yeah, that was pretty bad.
Yes.
Do you know whose movie though that I did watch lately that I actually really loved?
What?
Ooh, I know this one.
Yeah, I just recently watched Waterhole.
Oh,
yeah.
Did you?
Oh, don't rub it in, Phil.
And it was fantastic.
The Waterhole? You mean Nathan Cole's movie that he had a hand in there? Happy Hour is Over. The one that says it's right there. The waterholemovie.com.
I hear he's a hell of a guy too.
That's the one I'm talking about.
I saw a lot of movies recently that I really liked. Have you guys seen? Doran actually here in the chat room said, "Did you see Widwinner in the Slipstream?" Yes, I did. Doran, I did like it. Yes. Did you guys, another one I can recommend, has anyone seen Lunopolis?
No.
Guys, I gotta tell you, with the exception of I think they suck at promoting themselves, Lunopolis is quite frankly that movie should be the new Blair Witch.
How do you spell it?
Lunapolis, like Metropolis, but Lunopolis. Like L like Lunopolis, U like Unopolis, N like Nopolis, O like, or I don't know. It's, I don't know why that worked.
Robert Loggia.
That was the film that at the festival I was like, I really want to see it, I really want to see it, and then we just didn't, I didn't get to go see it, and then afterwards you were like, man, that was such a good movie, you should have saw it. I was like, fuck you, Nick, I was doing interviews with you, I could have saw it.
Yeah, well, let me tell you, from all the movies at that festival, there are definitely 3 that I recommended to New Mexico, saying like you need to get these films in the festival.
Drummond Will.
The Drummond Will was awesome. If you guys check out Alan Butterworth's movie, The Drummond Will. Yes, he's British, and Alan Butterworth is such an awesome name for a British person. It just sounds Butterworth. It's great for a guy who does syrup. I don't know, but. The Drummond Will was hilarious. Shot on the red, but done in black and white, or in post, in black and white. It's got one guy who looks or sounds quite a bit like John Cleese, and then the other lead is basically a Russell Brand kind of clone, in a good way. Like, in as much as he looks like him and has kind of his comedic timing. But it's really funny. And so that, Misdirection was another one, and so was Lunopolis. And Lunopolis, to me, if you watch the trailer did not give me an idea of what the movie would be about. I thought that the movie itself was far superior and like literally riveting. Like I could not take my eyes off that movie. Just like I can't take my eyes off of Ryan Nishan over there. That sexy bitch. I got nothing. I'm running on empty. This is when you know I'm running on empty.
When you're looking at me and feeling attracted.
Well, I wouldn't say I was feeling attracted, but...
Yeah. Oh, I thought that was your Orlando.
No, my Orlando one I think is in my coat in the other room.
I'm trying to give you something to work with.
What was it? Can spread my hippie film love wherever we go. Mojave 44, Michelle, you can spread your hippie film love.
I did.
Couldn't think of it without a context.
All over the show.
Wonderful Nick.
Yes.
Film love is how I would describe Piper and Tupper.
Piper and Tupper was interesting. I got to tell you, if ever there was a time where my skills as an improv person, like to be able to come up with shit quick, wherever in contestation, it was in that interview because they did the interview in character. It was 2 guys. There's 2 actors who are also musicians, and they made a movie as these 2 characters called Piper and Tupper. They're 2 like hippie dudes. And
stand-up comics, they do that routine on stage all the time.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And they did the interview in character, and they're coming back at me with stuff that like I know was meant to be like. It could have gone either way. It could have either been me going like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, or it could have been me saying, going back to them the way that I hope I did, or I hope it came off, where, we really just played it as completely not serious throughout the whole thing. They would come up and say something like, well, yeah, we're touring down in, we're touring down in Salmonella, Mexico, and I'm like, is that near botulism, Venezuela?
The thing is, you guys, you both did it as jokes, but the way it comes out completely straight, which makes it funny. Because it seems like almost like a serious interview. That makes it even funny.
Night, Jessica.
KIsAFink, no!
She has school tomorrow.
All right. I bet Jess can't wait until she's done with school and can just be a full-time filmmaker. And then we get to see the real Jess.
Yeah.
When she doesn't have to be a good little school marm.
Nope.
Think of all those young minds that are benefiting from her knowledge, though.
Yeah. I just have to ask, is Peep Show required reading in the classroom?
No.
It should be.
Libido Land, they watched Libido Land first class.
I bet they did.
Well, we actually have to be kind of careful about where we post it because some of, she teaches film, and so some of her kids know that she makes movies, and so it's just a fine line between showing them what she actually does in real life and not losing her job.
Right. So what you're saying is writing for me is a deviant lifestyle. I understand. Okay. That can get you fired from other jobs. Oh, I swear my site is a sexual harassment policy waiting to be written.
No. You know what? We wouldn't have done that if we didn't want to.
Oh, I know. I know, and I thank you guys all the time. Whether you hear it or not. Yeah, I do, because it's because you guys also you do really good writing, and also you get really interesting subjects that I think should be highlighted, and just because it's porn doesn't mean it's bad. So there.
No, definitely not.
So, but yes, I understand that you guys want to, or one of you wants to head to the, hit the sack, and quite understandably, I think that we might call it a night as well, because we've been on for a couple of hours now, and we've accomplished nothing, which is the goal of every show. We need to bring it back to where we started, so there is no progress.
I think this should be the show. Every week we should have like 5 or 6 filmmakers just call in.
But here's the problem, Jerry. We've had this talk many, many times. I can sell a 1-hour show. I can't sell a 5-hour show. Jerry, you can't sell a 1.5 hour movie, so don't even go there, okay?
Oh, wow.
Wow, Jerry.
I've made money.
Oh, really? Jerry, I've had 800,000 people view my site this year. How many have viewed your site?
I'm all over your site, so I've had 800,000, whatever.
Jerry, the only time you're all over my site is when you put your ass on your computer screen at FilmSnobbery.com.
I think the scoreboard should go up now.
You got nothing. But I think at that note, I think we're going to cut it for the night. I want to thank KingIsAFink, Julie and Jessica for showing up. I want to thank Doran Kipper there in the chat room for being vocal. Michelle, Mojave44, of course. I want to thank Jake Stetler. I want to thank Gary King. I want to thank Nathan Cole, a.k.a. Clumsy Monster. I want to thank Miles Maker for being the guest, PhilOnTilt, of course, and everyone else who showed up tonight, because this was kind of epic. I like this. This was fun. And hopefully everyone else had fun too. Maybe next time we should have more of an agenda. You mean plan it out a little bit. But I want to say thank you to everyone. And if you're not already following us over Twitter.com, Twitter.com/FilmSnobbery, and Facebook.com/FilmSnobbery. We're almost at 1,000 fans on Facebook. I'm happy about that. So I think we're like 24 away or something. So if you know anyone who wants to, like us on Facebook, get on that, because we want to hit 1,000, because it's an arbitrary number. Why not? We want to thank everyone, though, for watching, and it really does mean a lot to us. And we will see you in 2 weeks, I guess, because according to Ryan, we're not going on Thanksgiving. So
you can do whatever you want.
It's Thanksgiving. We might as well. Maybe you'll get a nice impromptu show for a little. Instead, for those of you guys who don't watch football after Thanksgiving, you can watch my shiny head.
Well, I do the whole retail thing the day after.
There you go.
And Black Friday.
So good night, people.
Shop.
Yeah. No problem, Jewy Jerry. Go. Good night, everyone.
Because I don't have money to spend on anything.
Good night.
I'm cutting him off.
Good night.
Night, you guys.
Good night.